God bless America. Hello, everybody. I am the Talk Radio Protege. This is the Protege program. We're back with a brand new week of exciting news stories to share with you. The NPR voice is back because I'm in a hotel, and this is probably going to be the only video that goes up on time this week because I'm in a different time zone. So, I hope to get this video up by my usual time, but this will be the only one that goes up at this time for the rest of the week, most likely. Except Friday. Maybe Friday. We'll see. But I've got a story that really butters my egg roll, or the opposite of burns my biscuits, that really mashes... I'm not going to do that. This from CNN. An Illinois town just banned assault weapons. The penalty if you keep one, up to $1,000 a day. Well, I smell two unconstitutionalities in that one sentence, or trio of sentences alone, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Let's get into the story. The village of Deerfield in northern Illinois has passed a ban on assault weapons, but it affects much more than sales and manufacturing. How does it do that, you might ask? If the 18,000 residents of the Chicago suburb don't forfeit or secure weapons that fall under the ban by June 13th, they will be charged from $200 to $1,000 a day as a penalty. Now, how might this be unconstitutional? Well, first of all, there's this little thing called the Second Amendment. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Deerfield, Illinois, but it says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And I think, I'm not an expert, but I think shall not be infringed means that you don't get to do laws like this. I have a funny feeling that this is going to get challenged and toppled in the courts. The other thing that smacks... I know my battery power is low. The other thing that smacks of unconstitutionality in this decree is that penalty. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I could afford $1,000 a day as a penalty for not being able to get my firearms out of a certain Chicago suburb. I just don't think I could afford that. But what do I know? I'm just a white collar middle American middle income worker. The village wants a sense of safety. Well, I have a feeling it's not going to get safety or liberty with this ordinance. According to the ordinance, it is unlawful for a person to carry, keep, bear, transport, or possess an assault weapon in the village, except if the weapon is broken down in a non-functioning state, so in other words, it's not an assault weapon, is not immediately accessible to any person, so it's locked away in a safe where it's going to be a lot of help for you if somebody breaks into your home, is not immediately, or is unloaded and enclosed in a case, firearm, carrying box, shipping box, or other container by a person who has been issued a currently valid firearm owner's identification card. So as long as you have that, as long as you have your firearm owner's identification card, you can carry your assault weapon in a place where it's going to take you probably 60 seconds to get to it, load it, and you'll be ready to use it. For all the good that's going to do you. Skip. Okay, you're either lying or illegally purchasing this AR-15. We might come back and look at this if we have time. The authors of the legislation claim the law may increase the public's sense of safety. I just understood what that means. Notwithstanding potential objections regarding the availability of alternative weaponry or the enforceability of such ban. The sense of safety, not the actual safety. It's not actually safety that we're worried about. It's the sense of safety. As long as you feel safe, you actually are safe. If you close your eyes, the monsters can't see you. And the second part of this, notwithstanding potential objections regarding the availability of alternative weaponry. So we're going to ban all these weapons, and we don't care if there's not alternative weaponry available, and we don't care if we can't enforce this law. And that's something important to talk about. How is law enforcement supposed to know how long I've had my assault weapon when you catch me with it? You also have to catch me with it. Do you see how this type of ban is just, you're going to get caught with a weapon and you're going to get slapped with the minimum fine because they can't know if you've had it for more than one day. Gun advocates call it draconian as if that's ridiculous. Objections, as you might imagine, have come in spades. On Thursday, blah, blah, blah. Richard Pearson, executive director of the Illinois State Rifle Association, tells CNN they are blatantly violating state law and they are violating the Second Amendment. The penalties are just draconian. A guy or a lady who owns large capacity magazine or anything like that could owe thousands of dollars, and if they cross the thin, almost invisible line between municipalities, they could be considered a criminal. That's another thing that makes this thing unenforceable. If I frequently travel back and forth across that municipality line, how many days does it count as me having the semi-automatic weapon if I go in there and come back and go in there and come back? A lot. The NRA is filing a similar lawsuit. Krista B. Cox, executive director of the NRA's lobbying arm, said, "Every law-abiding villager of Deerfield has the right to protect themselves, their homes, and their loved ones with the firearm that best suits their needs." This is something else that nobody in politics, nobody on the gun control side of the lobby is talking about, except for the people that say, "I can't imagine," or there's never a reason to own a semi-automatic weapon. In my opinion, people like London Mayor Sadiq Khan, who said there's never a good reason to carry a knife, or the people that say there's never a good reason to own a semi-automatic weapon, an assault weapon, they have no imagination. They have no inkling of the notion that a criminal might have a more powerful weapon than you do, and by implication have an advantage, a combat advantage over you in a self-defense situation. How the ordinance defines a problematic term, at least they're acknowledging that the term assault weapon is problematic, but it's problematic by design. Assault weapon is ambiguous and problematic so that it can be the most far-reaching as the anti-gun lobby wants it to be. And you're going to see that in a few moments as we get into the municipality's definition of assault weapon. Since the expiration of the federal assault weapons ban in 2004, there hasn't been any official definition for the term. This is by design, as I said. A common NRA talking point states that an assault weapon should be defined as any weapon used in an assault. Because when you think about it, the most basic definition of assault weapon is a weapon that is used to assault someone. That's the understanding of probably many Americans that's probably many Americans' understanding of the term assault weapon, because that's the first thing that comes to mind. What's the definition of assault? Is when you attack someone illegally. What's the definition of weapon? It's a tool that you use to cause harm. So an assault weapon is a weapon that you use to illegally cause harm to someone. Is a tool that you use to illegally cause harm to someone, whether it be a gun, a knife, or otherwise. Deerfield's ordinance sets its own extensive definition of the term. The short version, which is not actually accurate, is that an assault weapon is a semi-automatic rifle that has the capacity to accept a large capacity magazine, detachable or otherwise. There are other aspects including rifle additions and types of magazines. So what is large? I need to go down in the comments and tell me what large is. Because my pinky finger is large. The definition of large is dependent on context. My pinky finger is large compared to an ant. And a 13 round magazine, which is standard on most handguns, is large compared to a single shot rifle. A 30 round magazine, which is, again, from what I understand, sometimes standard, is large compared to a handgun magazine, and is enormous compared to a single-shot rifle. Here's the real kicker, though. As defined by the village, the term also includes semi-automatic pistols, semi-automatic shotguns, conversion kits, and any shotgun with a revolving cylinder. So if it includes shotguns with revolving cylinders, you can bet your butt it includes pistols with revolving cylinders. And this right here, this paragraph is why people like me are telling you they're not just coming for the scary black rifle. They're coming for all of your guns, even the revolvers, because they want to control you. It's not about the gun, it's about controlling you. The ban also provides an open-ended list of firearm models, so if anybody ever comes up with a version of an AR-15 that is not an assault weapon by their current definition, they're going to ban it because open-ended list of firearm models. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. Do we have time for bonus meme? Yes, we do. I think we can go look at this. We can go see if this woman is really lying about how she got an AR-15 in 7 minutes. I guarantee you she's either lying or making this up because the background check takes at least 30 minutes. Let's just see. I will get it full screen if I can. Come on now.
Due to advancements in technology, 35% of important workplace skills will evolve by 2020. Prepare with tech-infused degrees in business, tech, and health from DeVry University.
Yeah, this is an ad. Here's the actual video.
Helen Ubinis, I want to talk to you about your daily news column, the self-explanatory title, I bought an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle in Philly in 7 minutes. Is that true?
Why shouldn't you be able to buy an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle in 7 minutes? Why? Why shouldn't you, as a law-abiding citizen, be able to do that?
True? How difficult was it, Helen?
It was extremely easy. I walked into a gun shop in Philadelphia, and it should be said that I could have done this in any gun shop. And within minutes, I walked out. The 7 minutes was the amount of time that I ballparked between the time that I gave him my driver's license to when I realized, oh, I'm eligible to buy this gun. But it was me.
Okay. What does that mean? 7 minutes is the time between I gave him my driver's license and I realized I was eligible. That's an interesting distinction between when she walked into the store and when she walked out. Because I guarantee you, she walked into the store and 30 minutes to an hour later walked out with the AR-15. It wasn't 7 minutes. She didn't walk in and say, hey, I want to buy an AR-15. And the guy said, okay, here it is, give me your money. That's not how it went down. And she just told you that's not how it went down. She took out the process of going into the store, building up the guts to go talk to the guy behind the counter and say, I want to buy an AR-15. Because even if you know what kind of gun you want when you go into a gun store, most people are going to spend a little bit of time looking at the selection. So she did go in there and spend a little bit of time not like trying to do anything. So let's say from the time she engaged with the cashier until the time she walked out of the store was probably 25 minutes to 45 minutes. So that exchange is going to start. And then she hands him her driver's license. Now, probably what he did was she handed the cashier her driver's license, and he handed her a form that you fill out and that the cashier then takes and enters into the instant background check database. So as she's filling out this form, she says it's 7 minutes from the time that she gave him the driver's license until the time she realized she was eligible, which probably means she realized she was eligible when she read all the way through the form. She could have been answering the questions as she went, or maybe she read all the questions and then went back through and answered them. That might give or take a minute at the most. So it took her 7 minutes to read the National Instant Background Check System form. It did not take her 7 minutes to buy an AR-15.
Mere minutes between the time I walked in and the time I walked out.
I know from reading your cover story.
Between the time I walked in and the time I walked out.
I interrupted her, so I missed a little something there.
The time that I gave him my driver's license to when I realized, oh, I'm eligible to buy this gun. But it was mere minutes between the time I walked in and the time I walked out.
I know.
Hold on. I'm trying to get this right. One more time, please.
Minutes I walked out. The 7 minutes was the amount of time that I ballparked between the time that I gave him my driver's license to when I realized, oh, I'm eligible to buy this gun. But it was mere minutes between the time I walked in and the time I walked out.
Are you trying to give me the double talk?
I know from reading your cover story that when you walked in, you were nervous that you were going to be nearly interrogated. Did you have to answer any questions?
Mm-hmm. Not many. I mean, as I said in my column, I was driving over there and I was very uncomfortable because I'm not a gun person. I'd never done anything like this before. And I was trying to come up with certain stories. If they asked me questions why I wanted this particular gun, especially this particular gun, the day after the massacre when we all thought it was still the AR-15. But other than a couple of questions here and there that I answered as minimally as I could, I really wasn't asked many questions.
I want to underscore, as you just said, this was one day after the massacre in Orlando, so you would think perhaps there would have...
Oh, when did this take place? I don't even know when this video took place. They're talking about Orlando, so it must have been a few years ago. But anyway, she's obfuscating the issue, obviously. Anybody that has bought a gun before knows that it takes longer than 7 minutes to buy any firearm. It takes at least 7 minutes to fill out to enter the store, get to the counter, tell the guy you want the gun, and then fill out the form. I'll give her that. It probably took her 7 minutes to do that. And she's saying that she's trying to think up stories. She was thinking about lying to this gun salesman, to this gun store, about why she wanted to buy this firearm. As if the gun lobby thinks that the gun is the problem, which they don't. So, if the gun lobby thought the gun was the problem, maybe it should have taken her longer to buy the gun. But they don't, so it didn't. So, I just wanted to dive off into that video because the headline interested me. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, hit subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so that you don't miss a single video. The notifications will be especially important this week as my time schedule is going to be off from normal. But maybe you'll get a feel for what the upload schedule could be like in the future. Since these videos will be coming out a little bit later in the day, let me know if you like that. Let me know, especially after this week, if you want to see videos earlier in the morning to compensate for the fact that I won't be uploading around 6 o'clock my local time every day. So that's going to do it for this video again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Come back tomorrow for a new report. Until then, have a good night, and God bless.